And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. We do have another Giovanni Van Bronckhorst update for you, but before we get into it, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Scottish football content. Okay, it has been silent on the Rangers end ever since the 1-1 draw with St Mirren on Saturday, and that result left Rangers of course 9 points behind Celtic in the Scottish Premiership after 14 matches, which is super crazy. We're obviously now break for the World Cup and domestic action won't return now for another 4 to 5 weeks. A lot of Rangers fans now thought that result was the final nail in the coffin and thought it was the perfect opportunity to sort of summon up a change, and a lot felt that Rangers may have acted and sacked Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. However, as I said, there has been complete silence on that matter, and now journalists and a lot of pundits are basically coming out and saying that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst will be backed by the board and he is likely not to be dismissed. So Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is likely to be the Rangers manager going into the second part of the season. A Dutch football insider, Marcel van der Vraan, has basically came out saying that he does have the backing of the board and said 10 injuries at the moment. He has to realise, he knows he has to do work harder with this team, but he needs players, and I think he's got the backing of the board very much. He's counting on the backing of the board because they have not invested any more, and if you see the amount of injuries they have had, it would be very unfair to sack him. Again, look, this is what a lot of journalists are basically saying on the Giovanni Van Bronckhorst front, that the board are sympathising with him because of the amount of injuries that his team has had, and had to sort of navigate his way through it. And in that case, are going to give Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, the second half of the season to sort things out. Again, I don't really agree with that. I've meant through this so many times with regards to injuries. Yes, Rangers had a lot of injuries, but if you look at Saturday's starting 11, there was more than enough to beat St Mirren. There was more than enough to beat St Johnstone. There was more than enough to beat Livingston. I don't really care too much about the Champions League results. Yes, injuries can be used as an excuse on that front, but domestically, Rangers had more than enough to win those games. The starting 11, as I said, against St Mirren, Barisic, Tavernier, Alan McGregor would have started anyway. Lundstrom, Arfield would have started. Kent, Malik Tillman, Alfredo Morelos or Kolak would have started. And then, of course, out on the right is a toss-up between Scott Wright and Fashion Sakala, usually. But yeah, there was more than enough to win those games. And I don't think the problem has been injuries, especially domestically. I think it's been mainly down to the reason of the system. It just doesn't really work. It's just not clicking. They're not creating enough chances, and that should land on the manager's knees, really. But, you've heard the reports. Rangers don't want to pay £4 million or so. That's going to cost to sack Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and his team. So he does have the full backing right now from the board, supposedly, according to a lot of journalists. And as I say, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst will likely be the Rangers manager going into the second part of the season. But look, if the board are going to be backing him, which is their decision, of course, then they need to back him with money as well. The signings that have been made over the summer, last January, going back maybe 2-3 windows now, they've been horrendous. They've been really bad. There's loads of injury-prone players that are coming. Players just aren't hitting the ground running, and they need to get the recruitment right. And if Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is going to be backed by the board, like reports are suggesting, then he needs to be backed financially as well. But there you go, guys. There's the update. Journalists are coming out and saying that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst will be the manager going into the second part of the season. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts, as I say, down there in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's short update video, guys. Please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Scottish football content. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.